time for Cigar Talk, the fastest growing cigar show in the nation. Whether you're a new cigar enthusiast or a cigar aficionado, we have something for everyone, bringing you the best interviews, cigar reviews, and weekly giveaways. So grab yourself a cigar.
It's time to light 'em up.
Welcome back, Cigar Talk. I'm your host, Rob Jones. We have a special guest with us today, visiting in Abilene, Texas at the Leaf. We have David from the Texas Cigar Roadshow. How you doing today, David?
I'm good, Rob. How are you?
Thanks so much for driving in. We're doing great here. We've been so excited to have you on the show. It's been, I guess we've been working on this for what, about 6 weeks, maybe
Probably,
2 months?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was really looking forward to it. Getting up here, I listened to your podcast, and
Thank you.
definitely get up
Well, if you guys haven't checked out the Texas Cigar Roadshow, you got to go by and check them out. They're on YouTube. And I like to preface it with, and I hope you find this as a compliment,
Okay.
but it kind of reminds me the style y'all do of the old country reporter show,
Okay.
but on cigars.
Yeah, I mean, Ian and I, our producer, we work together, and we were looking for that look. I knew I wanted to do a cigar show of some sort. Being in TV since 1985, loving cigars, plenty around the DFW Metroplex where we're at. It's like, what style? Because I didn't want to do a cigar review. Everybody and their brothers.
Yeah, I mean, do we need another review?
No, I don't think we do.
We don't do very many reviews on this show because I'm like, if you're looking for reviews, there's plenty already out there.
Yeah.
And so what you guys bring to the table is some really completely different. And I like it because you're taking your viewers on a journey and you're taking them to see shops maybe they've never been to before.
Exactly.
Maybe they have the opportunity in the future to go visit.
Exactly.
And so I love that aspect. And not only are you giving a tour of the shop, but you're letting the audience get to know the shop owner.
Right, exactly. And we've actually had a viewer say that he was coming through from Louisiana, and he stopped off at Tobacco Cabana in Cedar Hill because he watched our show.
Nice.
And watched that episode and never been there. So that was exactly our goal for doing our show, was we want to get behind the brick and mortars.
Right.
And let them know, get their story out, where they're at, what they're all about, what they carry. You know, every lounge is different. I'm looking at this place. This is great. It's got an eclectic.
Huge.
Yeah, big lounge. The humidor in here is great. So every shop is a little bit different in what they carry. And somebody else might have lived in an area and they go, dude, I never even knew that was here.
We have it happen all the time here in Abilene.
Really?
People will tell me, I'm like, hey, you meet me at the Leaf. And they're like, that place is still open? I thought it closed because it used to be on the side street on Cypress.
Okay.
Well, then they moved around the corner, and 8 years later, people think they're gone. And it's like, no, they're half a block away. So I love the fact that you give the tour, you let people get to know the shop owners. And I mean, I know for my experience, there's been a lot of times where I go to different towns and I've never been to the cigar shop, so I have no idea what to expect.
Right.
I love that I can watch an episode in an area that you've been to and be like, oh, that's the shop I want to check out.
Yeah, definitely. And there's been some great ones that we've visited to where you find out some things. I've been in there once or twice, but then you talk to the owner. And you find out some interesting details about the owner or how he started it or why he started it. And when I find out some interesting things like that about a shop, it makes me want to go there more.
Oh, absolutely. Because you have that connection now.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't, like, say I don't watch your show and I go to a shop you've been to, I'm not going to get that information that you got one-on-one with the shop owner most of the time unless I go to that shop like 5 or 6 times.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you're like handing them this unique information and relationship without even going there.
Yeah.
And so when they go, it's way more comfortable. Because, you know, you feel a little uncomfortable the first time you walk in because it's not your shop.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, with the different shops that we've gone to, that's what we wanted. Ian and I were talking, and we were just like, what do we want to do that's different? What is not being done? You know how we came up with our idea?
No.
We were watching the Texas Bucket List.
Oh, nice.
And he went to the train car in Big Spring.
Really?
And he sat down with the owner and just talked, you know, like his show does. And we said, That's what I need to do. I need to sit down with shop owners and get their story and then tour their shops. So that's where we're headed next after here is Big Spring.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know this, but that's where we did our very first episode.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Actually did our first 2 episodes there because the first episode, our equipment after we did the show got stolen. And so we lost it, and then we didn't start back up for almost another year.
Oh, wow.
Because we were just like, all our stuff got stolen, and we're paying for this out of our pocket.
Right,
so,
right.
Anyway, I called up Brent, and he was gracious enough. I said, man, we still want to do our first show at your place.
Yeah.
And they're great people, but what a unique place, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody that hasn't seen your show yet, but you're going to love the train car.
Cool. I've read things about it, and, the pieces on their Facebook and and the website for the town that talks about it. I'm looking forward to it, and I like trains. Who doesn't? I mean,
right,
as a kid.
right. So, well, that's cool because that's kind of how Cigar Talk started.
Oh, cool.
I actually did a cigar blog first,
right?
And my blog was going to different cigar shops and writing reviews.
Okay,
but then after I met a few owners of shops, I was like, I got to do a podcast and go out and interview these guys so people can hear that. We don't do that as much anymore. So I love the fact that you're doing that because you're giving that information that I would love to do. But as you know, traveling all over Texas takes time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Texas.
And you got a full-time job.
Yes, we do. We have full-time. So it's usually on the weekends, and this one we're making a weekend out of it so we can get out there to Big Spring also. And this is a little bit of drive from the DFW area. Right. So we get out here to the Leaf, wanted to do a show with you. And, just Texas is, just in the DFW area alone, I believe there's over 80 cigar lounges. Wow.
And I've been to probably about 8 or 9 of them, and that feels like a lot.
Yeah.
But when you think of 80 or 90, you're like, I haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah, and that's not counting all your little places that are labeled tobacco. This is cigar lounges. Cigar.
Right. And I tell you what, one of my favorite episodes that you did was, I believe the place was called Cigar Art. Mm-hmm. That was a fantastic show. If you guys start their show anywhere, I highly recommend finding that episode because that was really good.
It's gorgeous. Kind of like this with the brick wall inside. It's very artistic cigar art. Obviously.
Yeah.
No TVs in there. Very eclectic furniture.
It brought a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the story of how they started on a stand. They started their shop in a box going out in on the street, basically.
Selling cigars.
Selling cigars.
Wow.
And so now they're a full-fledged lounge. And you've seen it in the piece that people even... celebrities have been there too.
Yeah, it's a great
gorgeous
shop.
It's one of my favorite ones just because the video is so great with the lighting.
Oh, and when you go in that shop with great lighting, it's just beautiful to look at.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys knocked it out of the park with that episode.
I appreciate it.
So let me ask you this. What's your background as far as doing a show? Because when I look at your channel on YouTube, it's not the norm. And what I mean by that, you can tell there's a very high quality of video production and you do a great job. But what is your background as far as being in production of video?
My background for TV started in 1985. I worked for an independent station in Wichita Falls, Texas.
Wow.
And it soon became, so I was on that station working master control when Fox first came on the air in 1987.
Wow.
And so I was there for that whole...
what are you, at least 40?
Yeah, I'm at least 50. And so I started off in master control at a station, independent station there, went through the whole thing where I ended up, when I left there, I was chief videographer, went to San Antonio, worked for PBS.
Oh, nice.
Then came to DFW, freelance for about 4 years, worked for the government. And then where I currently work now, we work for a nonprofit.
Okay.
And so I travel around shooting things.
So during your regular job, are you also traveling?
Yeah.
So when you...
Not right now.
Okay, right, because COVID. But normally you would be. So whenever you're doing this on the weekends... You know what that tells me is that this is a passion for you, because you're not working 40, 50, 60 hours a week and doing this on the weekend just for the fun of it.
No.
You have to have the passion.
Yeah.
So before we go any further, let's tell everybody what we're smoking. Go ahead. I'm going to let you go first.
Smoking the Perdomo 10th anniversary. Definitely one of my favorites. Good,
beautiful
morning
stick.
Yeah, and I like the Corona.
And I was going to say, I love that ring gauge. One of my go-tos is the Medallia by Micallef.
Okay, yes.
And it's in the 40,
I love the Medallia.
The 6x46.
Yes, and I don't care what Dan Thompson said.
The 6x46 is the best, right?
Yes.
I mean, let me tell you something. I did some independent research.
Mm-hmm.
I smoked an entire box of the Medallia in the Toro size.
Okay.
Because I thought maybe I was missing something.
Right.
Nope.
No.
The Corona Extra is by far.
Yes.
So Dan Thompson, you heard it from the man here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
we had a great episode with them too.
Yes, you did.
Oh, that was a fun shoot. Just to see how they do everything, which is always
amazing.
It's first class.
Yes.
And to see their humidors.
Yeah.
You saw me in the video. I'm in awe.
I was as well.
Because you're just looking around trying to take it all in.
And you can't.
No.
You're like, if I had 6 Army trucks pull up here, maybe.
Yes.
I mean, just one of those humidors is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But then the other one, you're just like, wow, they go on forever.
Yeah. And the cigars that they have in there, just everything that they do. That's what I like finding out about the places, is finding, like when we did Pop Safari, to find out his passion for cigars. You find Al Micallef, his passion for cigars, and how his business mind works, and then how they take that and put it into their cigars, and it's first class.
Right.
To find out all those little intricacies of that's what you're talking about, it being a passion. Not only do I just love cigars, you
love the story behind them.
Yeah, I love the people of the cigar culture.
Right.
And finding out what their story is and why. I mean, who doesn't? I think there's probably more than not of a cigar smoker that his dream could be starting a cigar shop.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, come on. I think that's probably 99% of cigar smokers are like, I would love to do this.
Yeah. But if you watch cigar art, it's like, okay, yeah, I am working. I mean, I'm smoking cigars for a living, but I still got to pay taxes. I still got to.
There's the lights to pay for, it goes on and on and on. And when you get into doing what we do, you see behind the scenes, and it's not the last owner of this place was Bill Kalame. And I would walk in and I'd be like, I see you're doing nothing but sitting around smoking cigars again today, just to rib him, because I knew he worked all day.
Right.
And he might have had a cigar in his hand, but he was still working.
Yeah.
And so that part was still envious to me. I was like, I'd love to be able to smoke cigars while I work.
Yeah. I mean, people ask you, how many cigars do you smoke a day? Well, for me, if I can fit in one a day during the week, I'm good, because it's after I get off work. 2, 3 on each day, on Saturday or Sunday each day. But, being a cigar owner like Jeff Stroop, we interviewed him at 3 R's in Duncanville. And he said his customers get mad. Jeff, you're never around during the evening. It's like, dude, you don't understand. I'm here from the time I open it up. I got a family.
Right.
I need to go home.
Right.
I need to see my wife.
I'm not just hanging out.
Yeah. And that's what we're doing at the shop. But that's what I like about the cigar culture is that's the reason why it's a passion for us, is that not only it's this, but it's the people.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what other culture do you know where you can have, Joe Blow sitting with the banker, the lawyer, the politician?
Yeah. And
when I say Joe Blow, that's like me.
Yeah.
Just your regular everyday guy come in and meet people from all walks of life.
And at that moment, it does not matter.
No. And I don't know of another culture that's like that.
No. I've talked about that either between Ian and I or friends or something, and say, think about it. I mean, there's unless you get into some little club or something that quilts or something like that,
But even then, I just don't know if it would be the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think about it. This is one of the things that amazes me is, what is this, $8 cigar?
Right.
Okay, something like that, depending on where you're at. I have no problem. Oh, you've never had this cigar.
Let me
get you one.
Yeah.
I've got one. Oh, you haven't had a Rojas or whatever, No, never. I have no problem handing it. Try bumming a cigarette off somebody.
Right. Back in the day, I confess I did smoke cigarettes.
Oh, I did too.
And do you remember, though, if you didn't want people bumming from you, what you did was you put them in your front pocket, but you tore the whole top off so you could reach in and grab one without pulling the pack out. Because anytime you pulled the pack out, someone was like, "Can I get one of those?"
Yeah, I wasn't that good. But when I smoked cigarettes, I smoked because I like the taste of tobacco.
I smoked because same thing, and I'm very ADHD or whatever it's called, so that also added to it.
Okay,
but the difference is I smoked cigarettes for 24 years.
Oh wow!
And after 24 years, my health was really taking a toll from smoking cigarettes. So I quit smoking anything for 10 years.
Okay, and
then I picked up cigars, and I feel great. I go to the doctor. He says my lungs sound great because you're not inhaling.
Exactly.
And you don't have all the chemicals. You have pure
That's
tobacco.
What we try to tell people that. And I still run across people that, not in a cigar shop, obviously, but, hey, have you ever, what do you think about cigars? However it comes up. Oh, no, I would never.
You get the same responses as if you were asking them if they wanted to smoke a Pall Mall.
Yeah, exactly. And then you tell them, well, you do know you don't inhale it, right? You do know it doesn't have chemicals. You do know all this. Oh, no, I never.
But what's funny is I find that even when you explain it to people, I would say at least 50 to 60% of the people have been so brainwashed about cigarettes over the years.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but they can't differentiate even if you explain it to them because it's so ingrained in them that tobacco is evil.
Yeah, they hear that T word, tobacco, and they just lump it all together.
So where are you originally from? Are you from Fort Worth?
I am originally from Wichita Falls.
Oh, no kidding.
I was a Navy brat.
Okay.
So I grew up in California.
I was going to say there's no ocean in Wichita Falls.
Yeah, no. I grew up in California as a Navy brat, and then Dad retired and went back to Wichita Falls because there's Air Force Base there.
Yeah.
And so all of our families from there, 1979 is when we went back to Wichita Falls a month after that big old F5 tornado hit.
Oh, wow.
So that's when we moved.
I didn't know they had one in Wichita Falls.
Yeah, Shepherd Air Force Base.
Okay.
Yeah, so Shepherd Air Force Base, the tornado hit through there. We moved there a month after it, and I'm 16 years old.
Wow.
Coming from San Diego.
Devastation?
Coming from San Diego.
Wow.
Yeah, devastation is...
well, I mean, I'm talking about the tornado. You're talking about just the beautiful landscapes and the ocean and the breeze and the perfect weather every day.
Exactly.
Yeah, Wichita Falls. I used to live an hour south of Wichita Falls in Woodson, Texas.
Woodson, okay.
It's population 208. You probably never heard of it.
I have not.
You heard of Throckmorton?
Throckmorton,
It's in Throckmorton County.
Okay.
And so... I know the landscape in that part of Texas, and you going from San Diego to there.
Yeah. And,
and how old were you?
16.
Oh, what a brutal time to move to.
Yeah. So that's, and stayed there, I went from a San Diego high school to Holiday, Texas is where, because we lived out Lakeside and had to go to Holiday, and graduating class of 30.
Wow.
And it was brutal for me as a 16-year-old. Stayed there for a few years, and then I moved, and then came back, and then after I got married, then kind of move on from there.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm Texas born and bred.
Well, I was going to say you look Texas.
Yeah.
So I mean, how about that beard? How long you been working on that beard?
Well, people always ask me, how long did it take you to grow that? Well, I keep it trimmed.
So you constantly keep it where it's at.
I keep it where it's at. This is where I like it. And I can't get it too much longer because then the microphone, our audio guy, Joel, is constantly, your beard's hitting. So I try to keep it trimmed above that. But, and besides that, with the beard, it gets in everything.
Oh, yeah. And, the thing about it is, in the cigar community, you have a lot of beard guys. Mm-hmm. And I know we've got a couple of friends that are friends of the show. They support the show through Patreons. And anyway, one of them's up in New York, and he had this huge beard. And then we've got a guy that's been listening to the show since we started down in Australia.
Oh, wow.
And he's got a huge beard about the size of yours, but it's just jet black.
Yeah.
So
yeah, mine used to be an auburn color, but not anymore. Not
time marches on, brother.
It does.
Whether you want it to or not.
That is true.
I'm smoking the Viva La Vida Torpedo. I don't know if you've ever had one of these.
No, I have not. AJ Fernandez, right?
It's blended by AJ Fernandez.
Okay.
Yes, it's actually the cigar is owned by Artisanal Tobacco.
Okay.
But they went down to Nicaragua and had AJ blend this.
Okay. Now, so what's specific about that one?
They make about, I'm going to say 6 or 7 different facings in Vietolas.
Okay.
And this is the Torpedo. And it's I'll put it to you this way. It reminds me of the Medallia, but a little stronger.
Okay. Interesting.
And so I've been a fan of this cigar since inception. In fact, I was fortunate enough to interview the owners of this brand. And back in the day, before it came out, they sent me some pre-releases to try.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting story because the way they did it is, and what he told me was, a lot of guys go down to Nicaragua. They have cigars blended. Mm-hmm. They get exactly what they want, and then they go home to the States, and then they ship them to them once they're ready.
Okay.
What AJ did with these blends was blend them just the way they wanted it, and then they went back to the States, which they live in New York, and he sent them a box and then said, okay, smoke this after it rests and make sure that going from Nicaragua to the States, It stays the same.
Okay.
And so there was a lot of work going back and forth to get this blend that they had originally in Nicaragua to end up being the same blend when it gets to the States and rests for 6 months.
Right. No, that is one that I definitely
very interesting band too, huh?
Yeah, I have not. Yeah, I have not tried that at all. Definitely, and AJ. I mean,
I love AJ. He does great work.
If you want a strong cigar,
yes, it's not for most beginners.
Yeah, I did that with my son-in-law. We were out on vacation, and I gave him an AJ red. And he took, I think, two draws off of it. He had to go lay down.
Oh, wow.
He's not a cigar smoker.
Right.
But he wanted to try. And I said, maybe you can handle this. And the room was spinning for him.
I've been there. long time ago, but I've been there.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. Does he smoke cigars now? Or is it something that he's like getting into as you go?
You know what? He has become more interested in pipes.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay, cool. I mean, I've got a collection of pipes too. I don't smoke them that often. And this conversation always comes up when you're around pipe guys. It's more work.
It is.
I mean, all I got to do is cut and light this.
I light this up. I smoke it and I'm done.
I don't have to tamp and mama, papa, baby.
And if you're going to smoke a pipe, you really need to get good at it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not enjoyable.
Right.
Because I know whenever I was learning to smoke a pipe, I didn't enjoy it for the first month or so just because it was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, there's an art to it. And, of course, we did another show up at Tobacco Cabana because they carry a lot of pipes and pipe tobacco. They have over 100 blends.
Wow.
And then they'll blend for you, too, or suggest things for you. But he's talking about how, okay, now you want a pipe for this type of tobacco, and you need a pipe for that type of tobacco so that you don't mix flavors.
Right.
Like we would not keep flavored cigars in with our good cigars.
We would not keep flavored cigars.
We don't keep flavored cigars.
Now, I always say, if that's what you like, that's what you like.
Exactly.
And, the cigar community doesn't judge you for smoking whatever you want.
Yeah.
As long as it's not a backwoods.
It doesn't have a plastic tip.
Right.
But you know Ohana cigars.
Yes.
And he did a Rargar with Rar beer.
Okay, I don't
Texas.
know about that.
So Rar beer?
Yes.
Okay, so he did a Rargar with them where he took a barrel that was, I believe it was a whiskey barrel or a bourbon barrel that was then used for beer, a dark beer of theirs. Then he took that barrel, and put like 1,000 cigars in there.
And aged them in the barrel.
Nice. And it became the Rargar. Now that one I keep separate. I keep an acrylic container for anything that's got any type of
infusion or something like that
is going to cross over. And so I do have that.
How is it?
It's got a tad bit of sweetness to it, type of thing. I think it's better when you let them rest even more. And then it's not. I mean, it's a good cigar, and it's just a little bit of those flavors are coming through. as far as a little bit of the sweetness from the bourbon and the beer. Otherwise, it's good. He uses good tobacco. I mean, Noel Rojas.
Oh, yeah.
And them with their.
I'm a big fan of Rojas's work.
Oh, yeah.
Now, have you been up to the En Fuego in McKinney?
Not in McKinney. I have been to the one in Rockwall.
Okay, I have not been to that one, but that's where I was initially turned on to Rojas cigars, and I was like, wow, these are a nice
because he rolls
secret.
for their house cigars.
Brett, and their house cigars are amazing, but they've got the no-band hand rolls, or fresh rolls is what they call them.
Okay.
Wow, those are fantastic.
You smoking that one, to me, Noel Rojas, to me, is like the next AJ.
Really?
To me, he's getting his hands more and more in other people's projects and helping them with it. And then he's just a blending genius to me.
Wow. Well, I've heard a lot of good things about him. I haven't met him personally yet.
Yeah.
He's definitely a guy I want to have on the show just because what I've smoked of his has been really nice.
And he believes in the smaller ring gauge.
Love that.
The Lanceros, the Corona, and then he has collaborations with Edgar Hoyle.
Oh.
Yeah, with Osak. They did the Los Tejanos, small ring gauge, and it's a blend between, I think, Noel blended and then, or I can't remember exactly the combination, but that's a great cigar.
Yeah, I tell you, first of all, like the ring gauge, I love really a 46 to about a 52. This is a little bit bigger, but normally I can smoke a bigger ring gauge on occasion, but almost 90% it has to be a torpedo.
Yeah.
Because I still get the smaller ring gauge up where I'm putting it in my mouth.
Yes.
And the other day, somebody sent me a cigar to try, and it was a 6x60, and I was like,
yeah.
Now, my co-host, which is out of town today, he loves the Gordos, and I'm like, if you send me cigars and it's a 6x60, he's going to be smoking it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, and there's a cigar for everyone.
And it's funny, Jeff at 3Rs, he says his customers want the bigger cigars, and he can't hardly sell something this size.
Really?
And so, but you go 8 miles up the road to Tobacco Cabana, and they will sell cigars this size. It's funny how the cigar, it's like you're 8 miles away, and this shop can't sell this one, but yet this group will. They'll eat it up. Then you go to Underground in Fort Worth.
I've never been there.
Oh, and you got to go to their new shop.
Oh, they have a new shop.
Oh, so catty corner to where it was. They just opened up 2-3 weeks ago. It's got a 1920s speakeasy feel to it.
Oh, I love that.
It is. They have a wall unit, wood wall unit for their swag. It is the exact replica from John Wick.
Oh, no way.
The weapons.
Yeah.
And so it's got the signs. Men's bathroom, office, everything's got.
Now, have you done a show there yet?
Not yet. We were waiting.
It's on
for
your list.
Yes, it
nice.
is. Yeah, we know Don. We go to the NFG there once a year
Festival.
That they have that, and we knew about the shop opening up. It's like, when's it open? Come on, we got to do a show there. So they're open now. Great humidor, of course. Boutique Central.
Love boutiques.
Boutique.
I'm all about boutiques. That's probably my, if you're a cigar smoker that likes to try new things, which I do.
Yes.
Because my palate is anywhere from a light plus all the way to full blown.
Yeah.
So I can smoke something that is between a light and medium all the way to, the double Ligero from LFD.
Right.
If I still smoked the LFDs.
I kind of heard about that. The little LFD. I don't smoke a lot. Ian does. He likes the LFDs. One of my sons really liked the LFD Lennox.
Yes, that is
Lennox. Yeah, that's an LFD. He liked that one. I just never really got into LFD that much.
Well, I'm not going to bash on them another show. I can just say I used to love them. Now, on occasion, I'll smoke one here and there, but they used to be my go-to. But that's all I'm going to say, because I've bashed them before, and I know they're trying to get everything worked out.
You went to Cigar and Spirits, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it was canceled this year, but last year you went to Cigar and Spirits. I know.
Right.
I saw you there. You were inside the ring.
Right there at the front.
There. What, do you remember what LFD did?
No.
Didn't bring enough cigars.
No way.
Remember?
I'd never even made it over to LFD's booth, to be honest with you.
They didn't bring enough cigars. We were VIP, and they were already out.
When you got there at VIP?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So things like that put a bad taste in my mouth.
Well, the funny thing is, and here I go bashing on them again anyway, but, I'm going to say about 12 to 16 months ago, they came out with this fancy LFD jeweled cutter. Okay. And it was $16,000.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, hey, how about we focus on the quality of the product you're making and forget about these ridiculous accessories? And that was just me. But anyway, that's enough about that.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm really trying.
Have you been to, Storm with Cigars for Warriors?
Oh, yeah. We've had him on the show a couple of times.
He did his event in Granbury.
Yeah.
We were down
Cats.
there. At Cats Fest,
Yeah.
I actually won the beard contest.
Nice. Well, of course you did.
But there was a guy there that had cutters. And they were, I believe, in that 16,000. But this guy was
from
a
West
silver
Texas?
I'm not sure. He was a silversmith.
Okay, because there's a guy out of West Texas who makes cutters anywhere between $2,500 to like $80,000. It's crazy.
Yeah, and there was like diamond encrusted. And
that's how this was.
Yeah.
And I'd be real surprised if it's not the same guy because Storm's from West Texas.
Okay,
and I bet somehow he got into that. So, and you know what? If that's your thing, knock it out.
Yeah,
that's not my thing. I lose more cutters than I can keep up with. So
exactly. I mean, I think that's one of the common things that gets misplaced.
Well, have you ever seen the round Zycar XO lighters?
Yes.
I'm on my third one.
Wow.
So, and the funny thing is the third one that I have now.
Yeah.
My wife found it for me about a month ago, and I hadn't seen it prior to that for like 3 months. So I'm always losing cutters because I wear shorts a lot and they fall out of the pocket. Gotcha. They fall into your recliner, and next thing you know, you're bumming a cutter from someone.
Yeah, I try to keep track of them pretty well, and I keep them in my humidor, my travel doors, and got this one that goes there, this one that stays in my man cave, this one that I take with me. So I don't think I've ever lost one, but I don't think I travel with them in my pocket enough to lose them. I probably would.
Well, and you are more reserved when it comes to how many cigars a day you smoke, so you're not constantly using it.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I'm in the 6 to 8 a day club.
Wow.
So I got to have a cutter with me at all times.
Yeah.
So,
how do you do that?
Well, I start with one at 6:30 in the morning with my cup of coffee.
Okay.
And then I have a conference call. And when I get off that conference call, it's usually over about 9. I have my next cigar, and then I do some more work, and then I have one right before lunch. And then so the rest of the day, it's easy to smoke 4 more cigars.
Would this have been even pre-COVID?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
wow. Because I know a lot of people's habits have changed.
Gone up, yeah.
A lot of people have been asking.
I've actually tried over the last 6 weeks or so to cut back to like 6 a day.
Yeah.
6 a day is a pretty good number. It really just depends on how my day's going, how my evening's going.
Yeah.
If I'm going to bed early, which is like 9 o'clock, it's usually a 6. If I go to bed at 11, it's definitely going to be a 7.
Wow. Yeah. No, I couldn't even fathom fitting that many in. I do love what in the morning though. So I look forward to my Saturday mornings.
First thing in the morning with coffee.
Yes.
That gets my day started right.
Yeah. I do. That's why I told my wife that the other day. Is like, that's why I love Saturdays, because I can get up and I can go out back and either on the back deck or in the man cave and just chill first thing in the morning with coffee.
So where's your man cave at?
It's actually in the back. We have a separate building. Half of the building is the barn for the horses and the tack and hay. The other half is my lawnmowers and stuff. And then a quarter of that half is my man cave.
Perfect.
So it's a 16 by 16 foot room. TV, refrigerator, couch, 2 recliners.
I have very similar at my house. I bought a 16 by 14 shed, had it electrical, insulation, sheetrock painted. We've got leather recliners, TV, stereo,
there you go,
and cigars.
Yes.
And so
you got it You keep your cigars out there?
Yes, I have a humidor. I have a humidor's got the glass door.
Right.
It's fully functioning. It's just no smoke in the house.
Right.
So now let me ask you this: how do you keep your air clean in your man cave?
I have a Winx.
How's that work?
I like it. It's the 450, so it'll cover 450 square feet. I've had 6 people in there smoking cigars at once, and it was cranked up full speed, and at that point with that many people in there, then you could feel it in your eyes just a little bit.
I got
but
you.
2 or 3 guys,
no big deal.
No big deal.
Well, I've got a Winx hanging from my ceiling.
Okay.
And I don't know which unit it is. It's probably like, this big by this big.
Okay.
And it was okay. But you see that white filter system there? That's called Medify.
Okay.
They are lights out amazing.
Oh, wow.
They use a medical grade HEPA filter, which is a H13, which is one of the only filters that actually filters out all the smoke.
Okay.
And I think that unit runs about $495, but it's got filters on both sides of it. So it sucks in the air, blows it out, and it also has an ion machine in it.
Well, mine is that 450. It's got a HEPA filter grade.
And
it has a charcoal in the front. So it's got, I think, 3 stages that it runs through.
So you got the bigger one.
It's a floor unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a floor unit. It pulls it in from both sides, kicks it out the top.
I was going to say, a lot of guys that I talk to are always interested about how do you purify your air? Because, even a cigar smoker who smokes 6-7 cigars a day, I don't want to be sitting in a room full of smoke.
Oh, I can remember before I had that, we had 3 guys in there smoking, and we're just going.
Oh, I've been there before.
Yeah. Going, we got to crack a window, dude. It's just...
Yeah. In fact, we used to open I've got barn doors, so we would open both barn doors and and you could go outside after we'd all been smoking in there, and you could just see this haze. and then we also put in a exhaust fan that pulls in air and sucks it out.
So I thought about doing that. Does that not?
It works great in the fall, winter, and spring.
And
in the summer,
running your filter at the same time?
Yes. But in the summer, you can't do that because of the balance of air. If you're sucking air out of your room and blowing it outside, new air is coming in from somewhere.
Right.
And in the summer, you don't want to be sucking in that 102-degree weather.
That's what I was saying.
So in the summer, it is of no use. But in the fall and spring and winter, it works great.
Okay. Yeah, that has always been a thought for mine, too, is to take out a little bit more smoke. But I've read with those filters that the room needs to be sealed.
Oh, really?
That's what they say.
That's something new. I didn't know
because
that.
then it's trying to filter all this other air that's coming in. And so, that's why I keep mine plugged. I've got an AC unit in there, so...
we actually had to add a second AC unit because Texas is just ridiculous.
I put you talk about insulation in yours. I just put 3-inch foam in the ceiling of mine.
Nice.
So I'm hoping that will take the heat down a little bit and let my air conditioner work a little less.
Right. Well, that's what I had to buy a second one for, because in the ceiling we have like the R13 foam boards, but a metal roof. And then that foam board, that's not really enough. I'd love to do the foam.
Yeah, I went on Marketplace, found somebody that sells this stuff. They go into buildings, I guess they take it out or something. She had truckloads of it, whether it was 1 inch or 4 inches.
Really?
And my 16-foot room, it cost me $300
to do the whole thing.
To do the whole roof.
Wow. That's not
and
bad
mine's
at
the same
all.
thing. It's a metal roof.
Right. So that heat just microwaves you if you don't have something.
I was putting it up there, and it's like, this is warm.
Yeah, my first summer out there, I actually had this crazy idea that I would put like 6 inches of dirt on top of the shed and like grow grass and have a natural barrier. Yeah. And my wife said, "No, you're not." So I get some crazy ideas sometimes. And
now,
are
you from Texas?
I am from Texas. I was originally born down in Port Arthur, Texas. And I was there for like 6 months. And then we moved to Sweetwater, which is just right down the road.
Right. Okay.
And then I grew up in Lubbock, though. In 74, my dad was hired on with the railroad. Okay. And so we moved to Lubbock, and I grew up in Lubbock.
Okay. And you're a railroad guy, right?
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor, right?
That's the rumor.
So, I have a great uncle that worked for Southern Pacific.
Okay.
I've got his old ashtray from Southern
nice.
Pacific. I've got his railroad watch.
Nice.
It's like one of those atomic watches or
Yeah,
something.
that was a rule. You had to have one.
Yeah.
And
so I've got that. My granddad always had trains in his attic, and he's got the the Daylight Special. So I got that whole train set of his of the Daylight Special.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's a dream of mine one of these days. So that's why another reason getting excited to go to Train Car and see that. But I'd love to make a diorama or something.
I mean, to have 2 box cars, one's your humidor and one's a lounge.
They have 2.
Yeah, well, they actually have 3.
Oh, wow.
They have, because there's a caboose there as well.
I didn't know.
So you have a box car. So this is your humidor and your bar.
Okay.
And then you walk down the outside, it's a patio area, and then you go in the other train car, and it's actually like a lounge, and it's nice. Wow. Leather chairs, not the humidification, but the air purification system's great. Okay. And then right across from it is a Union Pacific caboose, bright yellow with Union Pacific on it. And so the way it's laid out, that's the background for the stage, because they have musicians play on the weekends.
Yes.
Or pre-COVID they did.
Yeah. He told me about that. There is going to be a cornhole competition to raise money for veterans.
Oh, nice.
There when we're up here today. So I'm looking forward to that.
Let me tell you, Brent and his wife Camille, they are amazing people, but they are always doing charity work.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe he does stuff with the Lions Club to raise money for different charities. Okay. And then they're always doing stuff for veterans. Yeah. So solid guys.
Yeah. I mean, our whole family of veterans, 2 boys, my wife, me, my dad, my granddad.
No kidding.
Everything.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah. It's just... Mine was a long time ago. I've got boys that are still in there.
You were in World War I?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you might think.
What branch did you serve in?
Army.
Okay.
Army.
Awesome.
84 Bravo photographer.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, my dad served in the Navy back in 61 to 64.
My dad was Navy.
Okay, San Diego.
Miramar Naval Air Station is where we were at. He was he started 57 to 79.
Well, whenever my dad was in, the unique story about him was while everybody else was doing Army or Navy stuff, he was actually on the Navy boxing team. So he boxed all day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Navy always had, that was one of their things, was always having a boxing team. Yeah.
Well, he actually, they had a joint gym set up with the Marines. And so the Marine was like a 40-year-old coach. And as my dad said, excuse my language, but that 40-year-old Marine beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. I think about, my dad's passed away now.
Same here.
And he was a cigarette smoker.
Okay.
But I wonder sometimes if I'd be able to sit down with my dad and have a cigar with him.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
You know, it's just,
well, I'll tell you what, my dad was not a cigar smoker or a cigarette smoker, but I guess probably about 3 weeks before he passed, we got to sit on the patio and he smoked a cigar with me, and that will be one of the most prized memories I ever have.
Yeah, yeah.
And
that would be
something.
Yeah, that would be great.
So what do you got planned in the coming weeks or months, or what's the long-term plan of the show? I mean, you guys are doing, I think what you guys are doing is, I told your producer when y'all got here, he was like, man, y'all's audio is really good. And I was like, man, y'all's show is quality.
Well, Ian does a great job. I mean, he, with the editing and the feel of the shows that we, when we go into it, that's a big part of it. It's because we want to make sure we make these guys look the best. We want good quality. We want our show to look good, but we want all the focus to be on them. So coming up with when we do a feel, there is nothing planned.
Really?
There is no script whatsoever. So when I go talk to Jay for the Leaf here, there's nothing planned. It is spontaneous.
Let me tell you what, you will not find a cigar shop owner anywhere with a bigger heart than this guy.
Great.
Great. He makes me feel guilty because I am not a very nice person when compared to him.
Well, that's what and that it's fitting for the cigar
It is.
It's fitting. I mean, he's a people person.
You know, I told him the other day, he was like, I was worried about such and such not being right or something like that. And I was like, first of all, the new shop you built is amazing.
Yeah.
But that's not why people come here. They come here because of you, because you have this heart and it shows and you want to take care of people. And I said, that's why people come.
Yeah. I'm not going to name shops, and we haven't done a show there, but to hear things about a shop can have everything in it, okay? And then when the personnel are impersonal and they don't tend to you and they're on their phones, they're not attentive, they're just, there's the cigars. You know, I don't care how good your shop is. I won't be back.
And I know a show like that in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, since there's 80 or 90. You don't know which one it is.
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't say. But a good friend of mine was up there, and he went to this shop, and he always listens to the show, and he was like, and he's a new cigar smoker. And he was like, that's not the experience I had at all. You talk about how everybody's welcoming and the guys take care of you. I didn't experience that. And I thought, my friend is sometimes hard to please.
Yeah.
So you got to kind of take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
So then me and him went to that same shop because I was like, it's probably just you. We go in, no one greets us. We go into the humidor. Nobody comes in to see if we're taken care of.
Yeah.
We pick out our cigars. We come up to the counter. The guy's on his iPhone scrolling, and he's like, are you taking those with you or are you smoking them here? And I was like, we were going to smoke them here. Does it make a difference on
price?
Right. I was like, I don't understand why you're asking that.
Yeah.
And he said, okay.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even look up at me and says, all right, that's going to be $34.95. And I was like,
yeah,
okay. And I was like, hey, where are y'all's cutters at? They're hanging on a chain on the end of the table. And I was like, wow. Yeah. And I mean, the service was so poor that I was like, I almost called the owner not because I wanted to rat the guy out, but because if he doesn't know what's going on, their shop could just be going out of business.
Yeah. I mean, and that's a rarity.
Very rare.
In the cigar industry. But to get back to your question of like where our show's going, so it's like we haven't done a show in that shop. Probably won't. And so we kind of plan things out kind of happenstance. I mean, we're getting people now to actually call us and say, hey, can you guys come do a show? Which is very cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Your name starts getting, and that's great. But we kind of plan on the road show is mostly a once a month show. So if we can get a road show in to air once a month, that's great. Our pit stop is a once a week show.
Oh.
So we go to Tobacco Cabana, we shoot 4 shows. That'll cover us for the month, release them once a week.
Nice. Y'all do that all in one day?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's an all-day thing, huh?
Right. Well, we don't shoot the road show and the pit stops. We do the pit stop.
Right, but if you're shooting 4 shows in a day...
2 hours.
Are you... Man, y'all are good. I can do a 1-hour show, and I'm at the lounge all day. I can't get out of there once I'm done.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think, yours is a lot more setup than ours. If you watch,
I saw him carrying. He said, "This is it.
This is it."
I was like, "Wow."
That was one of our things. Is we wanted to keep it simple, and with the camera he shoots with, low light capabilities, keep it natural. Also, put the owners at ease and make them feel comfortable, where we don't have a whole lot of stuff following around. We got to set up. We got to do this. And, okay, let us reset now. Just follow him around, and he's got a Ronin, a gimbal, so that he's able to walk and follow us. I think that's worked really well. It's made the owners really comfortable and just talk to me.
Right.
Just talk to me, forget about the camera. And so we kind of we know we do the pit stops, and we know we've got to look at a road show. So we've got the Leaf here, and we've got Train Car coming up. So there's 2 months right there okay. The other thing that we're working on, which one is coming out pretty soon, is called the Especial. It's the Road Show Especial.
Okay, and what's that entail?
I like to call it the lifestyles of the rich and smoky.
I like it.
You know Dwayne Poore?
I do not.
Okay, he's up in Oklahoma City. He is one of the top whiskey collectors in the world.
Oh, nice.
We got to go to his vault.
Wow.
His Scotch collection, I believe, is somewhere around 5 million.
No.
So
what does that look like?
Yeah, it is unbelievable.
So you've already done this show.
Yes.
It's in the bank.
It's in the bank. It's almost done.
Now, when is that projected to come out?
It's very soon. Very soon. So those will be kind of like a little bit further and far between.
Okay.
Kind of, I'm saying
like a special.
A special, yeah. A special,
yeah.
But that way we get to talk to people that live that lifestyle that
we dream about. Oh, I love that.
Oh, it is. I mean, we talked. So he owns several businesses that allows him to do this besides his regular job. And we go into his office.
If you have a $5 million collection of Scotch, you have a regular job?
Yeah. Yeah. It is unbelievable. It looks like a store, but it's a showroom.
Wow.
That he has in there. It's an 8-foot by 20-foot room, I believe. 8-foot ceilings, 5 bottles deep, all the way around.
Wow.
Ardbeg, everything. Just unbelievable scotches that we tried that you're only going to drink this scotch if you know him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He had a 70-year-old bottle of Macallan.
You didn't try that?
No. It's still. He has a 75-year bottle, I believe Macallan, but it's still in Scotland. So this guy knows anybody who's anybody in the whiskey world. People send him products before it hits the market for him to test them.
No way.
That's what kind of guy this guy is, but super nice. Super nice. And he's one of my North Texas Cigar members. So I hit up a North Texas Cigar Society in Cedar Hill area, and it's just a group of guys that gets together. Well, he's our member too, and he just loves talking about whiskey and scotch and smoking cigars. So we followed him around to his 2 vaults. He has 2 vaults. He has one for scotch and one for bourbon. So we go there, and then he owns part of.
What's the bourbon look like?
Yeah, it's the bourbon room kind of looks a little bit more like a warehouse room, but it's still very organized. Still about the same size.
Wow.
And then we go to the Stag Lounge, which is an old 1920s type feel. Bar back is just gorgeous. The whiskeys that we got to try. They can have a $5 old fashioned to a $1,000 old fashioned.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the range of this. And so we got, we finished up the shoot with a Opus X 20th anniversary and some old fashions.
Wow.
And we just talking with him. So it's a different, it's still a road show, but it's just a slightly different twist.
Oh, absolutely. Well, let me throw this at you. Have you heard of Marigold's in Brenham, Texas?
No.
It's a small little cigar shop.
Okay.
It's in an old strip center.
Okay.
And from the outside, you might think, but the guy who owns it's named Bruce.
Okay.
Was in radio for years.
Okay.
Great personality.
Right.
And all of their cigars, he hand rolls.
Oh, wow.
He gets the tobacco shipped in. It's all grown organically.
Wow.
And I was kind of skeptical because, here's these cigars. It's not a brand I've ever heard of. And I was like, Anyway, he gave me a couple when I got there, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
So he only sells his own cigars. And in the front is where is the retail space. But then you go into the side door, and it goes into a lounge that looks like a 1955 Vegas room. Everything is done in that not patent leather, but like a light blue colored leather sofa.
Yeah.
If you think Vegas back in the 50s,
yeah,
it's just like that.
That tufted leather.
Yes.
Okay.
And so it's pretty awesome place to go visit if you ever get the opportunity.
That sounds like that. I mean, those different ones. Those
something
different
way different than any else thing you're going to find.
Those are great to get video with because it's so different. I'd never heard of it.
Right.
So we definitely want other viewers to find out about it too if they're ever in the Brenham. You said Brenham, right?
Brenham, right? That is, where Temple, Texas is?
Yeah.
You go down to Temple, catch Highway 36, and it's about an hour that
Brenham, isn't that ice cream country?
Bluebell,
yeah.
Bluebell ice cream, yes.
Yeah. So I would have to put that on our list. And that's how we plan our next shoots. Is maybe something like this comes up in conversation.
Well, he's a great guy. He was one of my favorite shows to do, and that was whenever we were traveling around to lounges more regularly. But COVID kind of took that out from underneath us. But yeah, Bruce is a great guy. He would probably love to do it, and it would be a great time for you guys as well.
I'm always scared when I do this.
With the beard?
Yeah. Do you need this?
I do not. I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm always scared. It's like people have talked about it. It's like, dude, have you ever caught your beard on fire? It's like, no, thank goodness.
Wow.
Because I believe that would just take off.
Oh, it would definitely shape it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a shaping I don't think I need.
Well, hey, man, I think that's going to wrap it up. Cool. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. I'm a big fan of what you guys do, and if there's anything that we can ever do for you, feel free to reach out at any time.
I appreciate it. I was looking forward to it and talking to you, and this has been great.
Oh, it's been our pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're going to be right back, and Shawn is going to join us, and we're going to do our weekly Pick 6 of the week and a few other little things, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hey guys, thanks for coming back. We got a special guest with us today. We do have Mr. Shawn O'Connor. How you doing, Shawn?
Oh, doing good.
Nice. So I was going to tell everybody that unfortunately we had to get rid of Brian. He never brought me a Club 500 like he said he was gonna, so we got rid of him.
You know what? I have one for you.
So
if we're switching out, co-hosts, we can do it.
There we go. Boom. So
that's all it takes. I got it covered.
Hey, no, actually, Bryant had to go out of town today because I guess he's going to be a granddad.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And they're doing the gender reveal today. And I asked him if I could go, and he was like, "Nobody wants to know what gender you are." So
We're
anyway,
still trying to figure it out, I guess. Yeah.
So anyway, he's down there with family, having a great time. We hope he has a safe trip back from visiting family. We're excited for him to be a grandfather. He's going to have two. His daughter and his son are both having a kid, but not with each other. Yeah. That would be odd.
Yeah.
So anyway, we got you on the show. We're going to be doing our Pick 6 here in just a little bit. But first, before we go, we want to talk about our sponsors. We're so blessed to have Viva La Vida, which is from Artisanal Tobacco. That's what I'm actually smoking today is the Viva La Vida.
I'm going to interrupt you, Rob. You're a terrible human being.
I am.
I told you this before.
This is not a secret. This is not a secret.
So you turned me on to this dang Viva La Vida.
Now, which one?
6 boxes.
Wow.
So
6 boxes. So which ones are you digging the most?
Club 500 and the Diadema, man. Those are my two. And they have just a little bit difference, I think. The wrapper difference is the Club 500.
And the blend is a little different because of the size as well.
Oh.
And I tell you what, I'm not a big ring gauge guy, and you know that. But the Club 500 is not like smoking most big ring gauge because it's a box press.
That box press makes it all the difference in the world, yeah.
And, I'm not a huge box press fan, but, and I guess because I normally smoke smaller ring gauge, I don't like a small box press as much as a big ring. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Totally different experience, but that 6x60 box press Viva La Vida, the Club 500, it's pretty amazing.
Knocks out of the park. And
I gave Brian a box.
No, I didn't know that.
I gave him a whole box unopened so I could shut him up about me smoking all his cigars.
Well, you've smoked my cigars too, so I didn't get no box.
Oh, wow. So, but let me tell you what, I've smoked way more of Brian's cigars. And so, not that he knew. He didn't know until they were already smoked.
So I'm going to decline the co-host offer because it sounds like it's not a good deal.
It's not. It doesn't have a lot of perks.
Sounds like a lot of work and a lot less perks than I was expecting. Yeah.
Well, he is the true talent of the show.
He is great. You guys together are amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, we want to say thank you to Viva La Vida. If you haven't tried the Viva La Vida cigar, you owe it to yourself. Shawn here attests.
And Jay at the Leaf has a great stock of those cigars, and we're really ready to ship to you if you need them. Call them and
absolutely
set it up. And the biggest thing people say online is they're hard to find because Vida, I think,
only sells through brick and mortar.
Only brick and mortar, but they also have select shops. I think they want to have partners, and they're building up their brand through that way, and they want to have good partners. And so when they do put a line in, they want to make sure it's supported and that there's customers and that the service is there and the quality is there in those brick and mortars. And that's what they're doing. I mean,
absolutely. And I mean, two great guys, brothers that own Artisanal Tobacco, Billy and Gus. And the way they do business is one of the reasons we were excited to have them as a sponsor. When you support the brick and mortar, which is ground zero, you know what I mean? That's where it starts. And so their commitment to supporting the brick and mortar is what we are about. So we were just so happy to bring them on. So if you haven't tried them, you definitely want to try them. It's a great smoke. AJ Fernandez blended it, and I could go on, but we only have so much time. And then we talk about our other sponsor, Micallef Cigars. I mean,
so I heard earlier, and some misinformation came out.
Oh, wait a minute. Cut.
Medallia. No, I disagree. I'm with our buddy
Dan Thompson.
Yeah. The Toro size is better.
Well, we're going to let you guys mature as cigar smokers. And when that happens, we're going to get back to you.
What's that phrase here in Texas? Go big or go home? I think that's what it is. Or is it go big in Texas?
I thought that referred to women. No, just kidding you. So anyway, one of the things that we share with all of our sponsors, and Micallef has put their money where their mouth is they support the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
I mean, they've done so much for the brick and mortar with the Phoenix program, with the live events they did during COVID via Zoom, with the passport program. Yeah. It helps bring people in store. And then the the ultimate inventory, where if a shop doesn't have exactly what you want, you can go to that shop that carries Micallef and order the box right there. It goes through the brick and mortar, so they're still receiving their money, and Micallef drop ships it straight to you. And let me tell you what, I don't know if you've ever had anything shipped from Micallef. I have, and they don't mess around. Like when you make an order on something, bam, they get it shipped that day, and you usually have it either the next day or the next day. I've never had a package take more than 2 days.
Well, I was at a cut and light at my shop, Renegade, and I had a great experience. Sat there and I met the rep, and I can't think of his name, but he goes by Cigar Luna.
Oh,
really,
he's Luna. A great guy. Dude, did he do his Arnold impersonation?
No, he didn't do that.
Dude, he does Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonation that's spot on. I want to have him on the show just so he can do the impersonation. I'm like, dude, he's got it. And he's just a down-to-earth, great, fun guy.
So I brought my coin.
Nice.
And I got...
Now, what number are you?
Oh, dang it. I have it in my bag over there, but it's 22065, I think.
And you know what?
I'm sorry. 5085.
Oh, that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a little difference. But when I was there, and I brought my coin, and I just was telling him how much I love the cigars, I bought over a box and a half. And I got some great little, free cigars. But he also said, here's an ashtray for you.
Nice.
So I got a beautiful ashtray because I brought that coin. And
because Micallef takes care of their ambassadors.
They do.
They're always doing extra for them. So if you're not a Micallef cigar ambassador, you look down in our show notes, go by our website. There'll be a link. Go by, sign up, become an ambassador. They'll send you your own coin, a handwritten certificate. You'll have your own personal number. And so... They have built, they continue, but they have built a huge community it's a special community, and you're going to be invited to a Facebook group that's just for the ambassadors. And it's not just the ambassadors that's in this group. You have Dan that comes by. You have Amanda that comes by. Andy, Sam, Luna. They all come by and interact with people.
Yep.
You know, it's creating even like a family from a cigar line. And so if you have not had Micallef cigars, you definitely want to find a shop that has them and try them, because they have a line from 4 to 42.
You know it, yeah. 4
to 42 and blends from a light all the way to a heavy cigar. And, you know, I don't know if you know this, but I've been smoking a lot of the Herencia Habanos.
I know you're kind of cheating on your medallion a little bit.
I am, but man, I tell you what, that Habano, they've knocked it out of the park again. And I tell you what, not long ago, Jay gifted us a couple of the Riatas and the Reserva. Have you smoked the Reserva yet?
I actually got a Reserva from Luna. Yeah, he actually he gifted me one because I was talking about it and I had never had one, and so.
Did you get to smoke it yet?
I have not. I'm actually going to see if Jay has any more because I want to pick up one more, and I have a special buddy that I want to just light those up.
Awesome. You're going to love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a special cigar.
Yeah.
So anyway, then it comes to our third sponsor, and that's where we are today doing the show. We're at the Leaf, Abilene, Texas, and that's 1166 North 2nd Street. Mm-hmm. And you've been here a couple of times.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
What do you? Because people often say, you talk good about people because they're your sponsor. But what I say is I don't take just anyone as a sponsor. We're very particular. And so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm going to let you talk about the Leaf and tell people what you really think.
Well, first off, let's talk about Jay, the owner. And when he's here all the time, and he's great. But when I walked in today, he gave me a hug like a brother. And that's what he does here, is really creates a special environment, a welcoming environment. Everybody can enjoy themselves here. They can relax here. You walk in and all the stress from work and family and all that stuff just goes away. You're in a great place. He's got coffee. I said, well, let me buy a couple cups of coffee. He goes, no, just enjoy yourself. And I'm just like, and you're here to make money.
How good is the coffee?
Oh, the coffee's amazing.
It's the best coffee I've ever had.
Yeah. And there's always a fresh pot on, which is great.
And let's just tell everybody this, too. Like, you came in, he gifted you the coffee. But if you pay for the coffee is $2 for all the coffee you can drink.
What a deal.
I mean, I've come in here before, and it's like $2, and I drink 6 cups of coffee, of the best coffee in town.
Yeah, he asked me to have you not come in so much anymore, but yeah. So the environment's great. The front lounge is amazing. Comfortable chairs, some tables. You always come in here, you see people in here just enjoying themselves, relaxing, visiting, talking. And this is the kind of environment that you can actually converse and connect with people. It's just that kind of quality environment. Then you walk back into the Havana Club.
Well, wait a minute. You missed the room.
Oh, okay.
The humidor.
So I don't talk about the humidor only because it's a dream. Every time I walk in there, I feel like I'm walking into a dream.
I mean, the first time you walk in there, it's shocking how big it is.
I'm stammering here because it's unbelievable.
I don't know if it's bigger, the same size, but the Renegade has a pretty large size humidor. Yes. But before we moved here, the lounge the humidor, I want to say, was like 12 by 14.
Oh my gosh.
And it was just jam-packed. And it had a middle aisle that went all the way to the ceiling. So the walking space was very thin.
Very thin, yeah.
Now you have these huge walkways, cigars packed to the gill on. I walked in and was like, I feel like I'm walking into Noah's Ark. It seems that big. When you look down the corridor of cigars.
When you can stroll down the aisle of a humidor, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really
Even
is.
after I picked up cigars last time, I just wanted to walk around one more time.
And because it's lined in that Spanish cedar, it smells like heaven as well.
Oh, I mean, when you open that fresh box of cigars and you get that whiff, well, you get that when you walk in the door.
Yes.
I mean, it's just
you don't want to
amazing.
leave.
No.
So tell everybody about the Cabana room. The Havana room. I said Cabana.
Yeah. So what I like, it's got a couple of really great features. It's got a nice little bar when you walk in where you can sit some bar stools and enjoy yourself there. It's got a nice big table, and I was just talking to Big Larry about how he comes in here and works sometimes and brings his laptop.
I don't know how much work he does, but he is here a lot.
It's got these beautiful, big, deep leather chairs that just welcome you in, and once you sit down, you almost don't want to get up. You're like, well, I'm out of coffee. Who's getting up? You want to say?
Oh, that's how we do it. Whoever's getting up,
whoever stands up first,
they get coffee for everyone.
Yeah. And tables and ashtrays and everything's great TVs to watch football. We watched a game here.
And I don't know if you noticed, but in all the tables, there's chargers for your phone or wireless speakers or whatever it is that you have. And they've thought of everything.
The little touches like that make it so incredible.
And the air quality in here. I mean, you got perfect. 5-6 people smoking in here right now, and you can't even tell.
Can't even tell. And then just even the features, the exposed brick wall, the lighting that's just around. That's just they've got kind of like an antique lighting that goes around, provides a nice soft light. It's just perfect.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do our pick 6, and you know the drill. I'm gonna let you go first.
All right.
Because I got to find mine.
It sounds about right. So my first one is the cigar I'm smoking right now. It's the Natsuko Anniversary 1965.
Great cigar. I actually just put one of those in my humidor. My son had not seen those before, and he was like, that looks really nice. And I was like, oh, it is.
Well, there may be a bag for him later on that may have one sitting in there for him and you and Bryant. But, you know, that's how I roll. So, Jay surprised me. And you've always talked about how great he is at picking out cigars. And last time I picked out a bunch of cigars, and he's like, you know what? Just grab a couple of these. You're going to like the profile. Habano wrapper, which I love.
Right.
Reminds you of a Padron 1964, the flavor profile does. Real smooth.
It really does.
Construction. Box press, which I love. I know it's not your favorite, but it's a square box press. And it's great.
I like that, and that ring gauge is good. I am not a fan of when it starts getting smaller on the box press, just because it seems, I don't know, it's odd to me.
Yeah. So great. I mean, just an incredible stick. I bought a box after I tried the first one. I came
and
back
the price point on those are very
ridiculous,
wallet friendly. I mean,
$750, $765 or something for this size, which is like the Churchill size.
And you're talking about a cigar that you said reminds you of the 1964 for under $8.
Yes,
that's. And I met those guys up at the Spirits and Cigar Fest last year. Super nice guys. I'm a big fan of their brand.
Yeah, I mean, just a great stick. The next one I'm going to talk about is the CAO Amazon. The Amazon Basin one?
Yeah. When did you have that?
Well, somebody dug through the internet.
Wow.
And found a box.
Wow.
So in your bag also, there may be a CAO.
Those
Amazon
are like
Basin.
a rarity now.
I know.
That's a cigar that, you know, I'm not a big cigar saver.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big cigar smoker. But that's a cigar that I actually might want to tuck away for a special occasion.
Oh, so you're going to save it for three days?
That's possible.
Luke, you got that down 4 days. I think he's going to save it for 4 days.
Yeah. I you know what? I saved a cigar once for like, I want to say 6 weeks.
Oh, so you were sick or something? What happened?
Yeah.
Hold on. So that cigar with the Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper and the Brazilian filler is amazing. Really great full body stick. Just awesome. Great construction. Great draw. And I love that it's got the tobacco wrapper band on it, you know, where they make it look like a little rope around it. It's just awesome. It's one of those cigars, when you have it, you can from then on, you can tell. If you had a blind tasting the smoke, that would be the cigar you'd pick out in a heartbeat. Just a great stick.
I agree with you 100% on that. So this week, I've actually stepped outside of my normal wheelhouse. I mean, it's hard to get outside of my wheelhouse, but anyway, my first cigar this week is the Diamond Crown Maximus. Have you had that one?
I have one in my humidor. I haven't had it yet, though.
Oh, it's a great stick. Really is a great stick. Yeah, it's definitely an evening stick, but you're definitely going to enjoy it. And then my next one is the Guardian of the Farm. Have you smoked those?
I haven't smoked those yet. No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
That surprises me. It's a really good smoke. It's and I like the original, just the original Guardian Farm, because they have many variations of this cigar because this one was so good. But I like going back to the original. And then the other one that I really enjoyed this week was the Sun-Grown Perdomo ESV.
Oh, nice.
Have you had that?
I haven't, but I'm going to go to dinner with Nick Perdomo.
Oh, are you doing
week.
that at Renegade? No, I'm sorry, in Fuego.
In Fuego's doing it, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm excited to.
Now, have you met Sam?
No.
Sam's here. He's going to be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Now, and I was talking to Cook, Michael Cook, one of the owners of Enfuegos, and I was like, man, I wish I could be up there, but I got to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, in the middle of the week, come on, man. But no, I would love to go. I hear great things about Nick Perdomo. I hear he's a really good guy. And I mean, I love their line of cigars.
Yeah.
I think that they are spot on. Their quality and the price point's not bad on their line at all.
No, and I love their champagnes. That's my favorite kind of go-to for them. They've got that's a great stick.
You know, I'm trying to think if I think I've only smoked this champagne like once or twice, maybe. And that was a long time ago.
Well, now that your palate's changed a little bit and you're smoking some more Connecticut,
I'm thinking I might go back to that.
Yeah.
Because, I think the first time I smoked it, I was just like, going from a LFD Cabinet 6 to that, and you're just like, ooh, that's air.
Yeah.
But now I think I could enjoy that more because I hear so many people going on about that cigar.
Yeah.
So anyway, man, we want to say thanks for filling in for Big Bryant.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to seeing you every time we have the opportunity. We also want to give a shout out to all our Patreons. Our Patreons every month support the show, and we are very grateful. They help us. They've helped us escalate the progress of this show so much with the quality of the audio, the equipment that we use. It was a huge learning curve. We could have saved a lot of money in the beginning if we knew what we were doing.
Right.
But it's been a blessing for Patreons to support the show and stick with us through the good, the ugly, and the bad. So we want to say thank you to all the Patreons. And if you'd like to sign up to be a Patreon, go by our website. It's the top link. And then also, if you look in the show notes, we have a link. But anyway, man, that's going to wrap up the show. Bryant will be back next week, and he has a special topic that he's been doing some research on. I'm not going to tell you what that is this week, but you'll find out next week. Have a great week. Until next time,
keep smoking.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, my pleasure.